بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We continue our study about social engagements based on Mafatihul Hayat, the keys of life by Ayatollah Javadi Amuli Hafadahullah. The topic for this session is how to treat our guests. In Islamic culture, also in Abrahamic traditions in general, hospitality is very highly regarded. Ibrahim ala nabiyina wa alihi wa salam was very hospitable person, to the extent that sometimes when he had no guests and he wanted to have his meal, he used to go outside and find someone to invite and have his meal with him. Also, the Quran tells us that when the angels appeared in the form of human beings and went to visit Ibrahim ala nabiyina wa alihi wa salam, he welcomed them and he thought that these people are strangers, they are not from this place and they must be hungry. So the Quran says, فَرَا وإلى أهله فجاء بعجل سمين فقربه إليهم قال ألا تأكلون. So he went to his wife and family and quickly they prepared a roasted calf for them and brought and put near them قربه إليهم. But then he realized that they are not eating, so he asked them, aren't you eating? So it was very established practice in the life of Prophet Ibrahim and also other prophets, and in Christianity, in Judaism, in Islam, hospitality is very important. The Quran praises Ansar, Mu'minin in Medina, who welcomed Muhajirin from Mecca. And the Quran says in Surah Hashr, Ayah 9, يُحِبُّونَ مَنْ هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِمْ. They love people who have migrated towards them, because indeed these are like their guests. We should remember, this is a very important point, that sometimes guest is your personal guest. Sometimes it is guest of a community, sometimes it's a guest of our city, guest of our nation. These are all guests. For example, if someone doesn't come to my home but has come to our community, he's our guest or she is our guest. Or someone has come to our city, if we are aware. Inshallah, we will talk about hadith which says that if a person visits another city, the people who are fellow believers should treat him as guest. Sometimes tourists come to our city. Sometimes refugees come to our country. So these are different types of guests and you have to be treating them with respect. So when these Muhajirun went to Medina, Ansar welcomed them. And they offered to them what they had. They were not also necessarily very rich, but still they were happy to share with them what they had. And the Quran praises them. Actually, this is the ayah in which there is a mention of ithar. Ithar means a level higher than muwasat. Muwasat means to share what you have with someone else. Ithar means to prefer the other to yourself. وَيُؤْثِرُونَ, after يُحِبُّونَ مَنْ هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِمْ ولا يجدون في صدورهم حاجة مما أوتوا ويؤثرون على أنفسهم ولو كان بهم خصاصة ومن يوق شح نفسه فأولئك هم المفلحون. Even if they themselves need something, they give preference to their guests who have come to Medina. And Allah says, whoever has been protected and saved from miserliness, these are those who are successful, muflihun, they have reached falah. So these are the general Quranic framework. We have other cases, but we mentioned the case of Ibrahim alayhi salam and the case of Ansar in Medina. Then we move on to discuss our hadith. The first heading here is the necessity of respecting and honoring guests. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, جاءت فاطمة تشكو إلى رسول الله بعض أمرا. Lady Fatima went to the Prophet and had some problems and wanted to mention to the Prophet. فأعطاها رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم كريسة. But Rasulullah gave her a piece of writing. وقال تعلمي ما فيها. Learn what is here. If you remember a few days ago we had something about this hadith and this writing, that how important it was for Lady Fatima. So in that writing that Rasulullah taught Lady Fatima salamullah alayha and gave her is mentioned فَلْيُكْرِمْ ضَيْفَهُ. Whoever believes in God and the hereafter must honor his or her guest. Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam says, أَكْرِمْ ضَيْفَكَ وَإِنْ كَانَ حَقِيرًا. Honor your zayf, your guest, even if your guest is either a small, means very young, like saqir, or it's more likely haqir here means someone that socially is someone that other people may not, treat him with maximum regard and respect. He's not well known. He's not, very, maybe, I don't know, respected for some reason. Unfortunately, sometimes people, when they don't know someone, maybe they don't treat them with respect, or when someone is not rich or someone is not, from their own city or, anywhere. When guest comes to you, you have to respect him as a guest without conditioning that on his or her social status. The next hadith says, نزل برسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله ضيف. A guest went to the Prophet. فلم يجد عند أهله شيئا. And the Prophet had nothing in his home. He checked with his family. They didn't have anything to offer to the guest. فدخل عليه رجل من الأنصار. Then one of the mu'mineen from Medina, one of the Ansar, went to the Prophet. فذهب به إلى أهله. He said, let me take the guest to my home. So he took the guest to his own family. فوضع بين يديه الطعام. And put food in front of the guest. Also, in order to make the guest feel comfortable, وأمر امرأته بإطفاء السراج وجعل يمد يده إلى الطعام كأنه يأكل حتى أكل الضيف الطعام. They didn't have enough food. So what he did, asked his wife to extinguish the fire. They used to have something, like a lamp, a light, to make the room dark. And then he used to stretch his hand towards the food, but not eating anything, leaving the food for the guest because they didn't have enough for both of them. So he offered his own food to the guest. Then فَلَمَّا أَصْبَحَ, next day when he met the Prophet told him, قَدْ عَجِبَ اللَّهُ مِنْ صَنِيعِكُمْ بِضَيْفِكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was pleased with your behavior with your guests. وَنَزَّلَتْ وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. And Rasulullah said, this ayah has now been revealed. Those who prefer others to themselves over themselves, even if they have need. So this shows that how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves hospitality, loves sacrificing your comfort, your meal to others, so that they can have sufficient amount of food. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Imam Ali, "Akrim al-dhayf walau kana kafiran." Honor your guest even if has no faith. Then this is the hadith that I said we will talk about it. If someone comes to our town and shares our faith, Rasulullah says, إِذَا دَخَلَ الرَّجُلُ بَلْدَةً فَهُوَ ضَيْفٌ عَلَى مَنْ بِهَا أَهْلٌ مِنْ دِينِهِ حَتَّى يَرْحَلَ عَنْهُمْ. Sheikh Saduq mentions this in Ilal al-Sharai from Rasulullah. If someone comes to a town, he is the guest of those who are from the same faith till he departs from there. So a mu'min comes from another part of the world, he is our guest. We should, as a community, make sure that he would not face any problem. He should not feel lonely and abandoned till he is here. Now some manners for hosting guests. Imam Baqir alayhi salam said, when a guest comes to you, consider few things. For example, don't ask your guest to do something for you. The guest maybe is a carpenter, for example. I say, okay, now that you are here till the food becomes ready, please fix our cupboard. The other person, for example, is a person who works in a garage. Could you help me change the oil of my car? This is not good. We should not ask our guests to do something for us, or after we eat, to wash, to clean. Sometimes the guest is very close to us and they really want to help, and if we don't let them help, they will be sad. They feel that we have distanced ourselves from them. That's another issue. But you should not expect and you should not ask, and if they offer, you should not easily accept unless you are sure that they really want to do this, and if they don't do it, they will not be happy. So min al-jafa'i istikhdam al-dhayf. When we connect it, it becomes min al-jafa' istikhdam al-dhayf. This is jafa, this is injustice, this is zulm, to employ your dhayf, in the sense that you ask him to do something for you, to ask her. فَإِذَا نَزَلَ بِكُمُ الضَّيْفِ فَأَعِينُوهُ وَإِذَا ارْتَحَلَ فَلَا تُعِينُوهُ. When the guest comes, you should help him. bring his luggage, take him to the room, help him settle. But when the guest is leaving, don't help him, in the sense that don't make his departure faster, by taking, his luggage outside, taking his shoes outside, quickly calling a taxi. Let him feel that you are not happy that he leaves. You really want him to be there. Of course, if he needs help in the sense that he has, many luggages or heavy luggage to take, that's good to help him. But not helping in the sense that he feels that you want him to leave faster. Also, Imam Baqir salam says, give him some provision, zabvedu. Maybe he's going to travel for long distance. Maybe he needs a meal. Maybe he needs some sandwich, some fruits. I don't know. Maybe financially, he's not very well off. Maybe he doesn't have any money in his pocket. Zavvidu. Give him some zad, some provision. Watayyibu zada. And make his provision, even if he has something, make it, better. And give good thing. Or if you want to give him good thing, something tayyib, something pleasant. فَإِنَّهُ مِنَ السَّخَاءِ. This is from generosity. We should not think that, okay, he was my guest, I looked after him or her, why now I should even give him something for his way back? No, this is not generosity. A generous person, whether someone is in his house or is leaving his home, feels that he's still under my care and under my support. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Min haqq al-dhayf an tamshiya ma'ahu, fatukhrijahu min harimika ila al-bab." One of the rights of the guest is that you escort the guest and go up to the last door. For example, there is a door for internal side, then there is a yard, then there is another door which is the external door. You should go all the way till he goes out of your house and out of your land. The next heading is, you should not fast when you have guests. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, وَلَا يَنْبَغِي لَهُمْ أَنْ يَصُومُوا إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ ضَيْفِهِمْ. If it is not months of Ramadan, if it is not wajib fasting, they should not fast unless after they get permission from the guest. Because if you, as a person who is fasting, offer him food, he would not feel happy to eat. You cook when you are fasting, you bring food when you are fasting. This doesn't give good feeling to your guest. So if it is not wajib, or if it is wajib but you have flexibility, for example, it is qadha. Qadha of fasting is wajib, but still you have time till next month of Ramadan. Don't fast when you have guests that stays for day, during the day with you. Another thing is that sometimes you have invited guests, sometimes you have unexpected guests. They just come, they surprise you, they knock your door, they come. All of them are your guests. All of them you should honor and respect. Of course, those that you have invited, you should be more prepared and you should offer more. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, إِذَا أَتَاكَ أَخُوكَ فَأْتِهِ بِمَا عِنْدَكَ. When your brother comes, he comes, he's not invited, he comes, okay, invite him inside, give him what you have. وَإِذَا دَعَوْتَهُ فَتَكَلَّفُ لَهُ. But if you have invited him, you have to prepare something good, even if you have to go and buy something. فَتَكَلَّفَ. Here you do a little of takalluf. Of course, not too much that you borrow lots of money, something out of your weight completely. But a little takalluf, it's okay. You shouldn't just say, okay, whatever I have, I give my guest. No, if you don't have anything and you don't want to offer anything, don't invite. When you invite, you should be more prepared to give. Also, Imam Sadiq said, لا تقل لأخيك إذا دخل عليك أكلت اليوم شيئا. When your brother comes to your home, don't ask him, have you eaten your food? Have you eaten your meal? Have you had your meal? Maybe he feels embarrassed to say, I haven't eaten anything. ولكن قرب إليه ما عندك. Whatever you have, bring, offer. فإن الجواد كل الجواد من بذل ما عنده. A person who is really generous is the one who offers what he has. Someone unexpectedly has come. Now whatever I have, I offer. Another thing is that you eat with your guest. So here Imam Kadhim alayhi salam says, إن رسول الله كان إذا أتاه الضيف أكل معه. When guest was coming to Rasulullah, he was eating with the guest. ولم يرفع يده من الخان حتى يرفع الضيف يده. And he was not stopping from eating from the table unless the guest was stopping. Because if you stop earlier, the guest feels again embarrassed to continue. Maybe he's more hungry than you, or maybe, for example, he was speaking, he was slow. In any case, maybe he needs more. So even if you have eaten enough, try to keep yourself busy so that your guest doesn't feel he's alone and no one else is eating. This is the manner of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, we will continue this discussion in the next session. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.